Oh, it's good to be back. In life, there are those certain moments that make us go, what the f***? Video games are no wait, this seems really familiar, doesn't it? Ah, to hell with it. You know what it is, you voted highest for this topic, so here it comes. But before we get started, there are a couple of rules to go over. Only one game per franchise, and only games I've played can be on this list. Oh, and as a warning now, spoilers ahead! So prepare to have your minds blown with Crow of Murder 15's Top 10 WTF Moments in Video Games. Yes, Pokemon is starting off this countdown just like the Top 10 WTF Moments in anime. Sue me. And wouldn't you know it, we're heading back to Lavender Town. Now, most people know the story of Lavender Town, but think about it from a kid's point of view. You're 7, maybe 8, playing this nice, kid-friendly game, and you're told that the Pokemon Tower is being haunted by the spirit of Cubone's dead mother. Nowadays, we just kind of glance over it as adults, but as a kid, in such a kid-friendly game? And no, it's not a ghost-type Pokemon that we're talking about, it's an actual freaking ghost. If I was 10 years old and told that, I'd run out of there like the ending of the Blair Witch Project. This one's lower on the list because it's pretty much common knowledge by gamers by now. So back in the early 80s, when the video game industry started to come back into the playing field, see what I did there? Almost every main character you played as was a male. Then Nintendo developed an awesome game called Metroid, and lo and behold, if you beat the game within a certain time limit, the armor is removed and Samus is a chick! And this was years before the internet was in full effect, so either you heard this from a friend or discovered it yourself. I'm actually kind of curious what else they considered Samus to be before the final decision to make her a woman. Friggin' love this game. No More Heroes is one of those rare gems on the Nintendo Wii and PlayStation 3. Your main mission is to climb to the top of the United Assassins Association to become #1, just so you can get it on with a smoking hot blonde? Eh, sure, why not? So after your next to last battle, Travis decides to call the UAA and ask for Sevilla. But the person on the other end of the phone is not who he expects at all.
Listen, lady, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Who are you, anyway?
Another sorry kid. And for the record, I am Sylvia's mother.
Mother?
Yes, you heard me. And there's no such thing as an association, or whatever you think exists.
You're joking, right?
This whole time, you've been gathering money for fake fights for a con artist. However, it doesn't stop there. Her mom then proceeds to tell you to finish the final fight. After all that, she says to keep going? Oh, and the fact that there's a guy named Henry that's your twin brother and happens to be Seville's husband doesn't help either.
All news to me. I'm gonna need shock treatment to get over this one.
Eternal Darkness is one of those games that just screws with you from the very beginning. In the game, you have a sanity meter. The lower it goes, the crazier stuff gets. Things like thinking you've been decapitated to... Wait, how the hell did a video game system get a blue screen of death? How is that even... Oh. Wait. Game's just screwing with me again? Well, this isn't the first time that a game has threatened to delete my save file. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those games that you have to play at least once in your life, being a game that pushed the PlayStation 2 to its limits, a complete masterpiece. So the story goes that your girlfriend dies and you make a deal with an entity known as Dorman that tells you to slay 6 colossi and she'll be brought back to life. So after all your hard work, after slaying all the colossi, what's your reward? Nothing. You've been tricked since the very beginning. Dorman takes over your body and you're cast away along with the demon, only to have your girlfriend come back to life in the end, seeing that he did hold up his end of the bargain, just not as you thought, and being sealed away never to return again. Completely reminds me of a certain scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Blizzard is notorious for throwing in little Easter eggs in all their games. One of the most infamous ones is the cow level. Now granted, there was an actual cow level in Diablo 2, but Diablo 3 decided to take it up a notch. Once you've gained and crafted certain items, you are visited by the spirit of the Cow King from Diablo 2. After talking to him, he opens a portal to another world known as Whimsyshire, and boy is it different. So bright, so colorful. Why the crap is this in Diablo 3? Granted, it's hilarious, but still, why? What's even funnier is that everything that you kill ends up exploding in a bloody mess like every other enemy in the game. Sounds like something manly and muscular mixed with My Little Pony.
Okay, now I've seen everything. A blue horse with a rainbow mane, sitting on a cloud, and has the ability to talk. Awesome!
Everyone by now knows about Borderlands, and with 3 awesome games already out and a possible 4th one on the way, doesn't look like the Borderlands train is stopping anytime soon. But I think most of us remember that first time we all hunted for the vault in Borderlands 1. No one knew what was inside. Advanced weaponry? Riches beyond your imagination? The secret to immortality? How about a giant frickin' monster? That's right, on the other side of the vault was a gigantic monster known as the Destroyer. However, you just happened to be there at the right time and saved the day. Well, that's that. Not like there's any other vaults out there, right? Right?
You know what that means.
Yeah. No rest for the wicked.
For the most part, Metal Gear Solid is a pretty straightforward and serious game. Well, except for the part where a tank literally comes out of nowhere. And then there's this guy.
I'm Psycho Mantis.
Of course, he already looks freaky enough as it is, but then this happens.
You like Castlevania, don't you?
And then if that wasn't bad enough, he can read every single move you're going to make. All stressed out, there's only one solution.
Plug your controller into controller port 2. If you do that, he won't be able to read your mind.
Gotta give Kojima some major points for thinking outside the box for this one. Literally. There's even a reference to this later on in Metal Gear Solid 4.
What? Where's your data? Where is it saved? It's memory card. Damn, your skills have improved, or rather, your hardware.
The only reason this didn't make it to number 1 is because most people already know the story, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. After the success of Super Mario Bros., Nintendo started to work on the sequel. It was a lot harder than the first, and Japan thought it'd be too hard for Americans. Shigeru Miyamoto was helping with another game called Doki Doki Panic, and decided to replace its characters with the Mario cast and called it Super Mario Bros. 2 for the US. If you compare the two games together, you can literally see they're the exact same game. However, it was possible to play the Japanese Super Mario Bros. 2 back in the day. When Super Mario Bros. All-Stars came out for the Super Nintendo, another game was added known as Super Mario The Lost Levels, and this was the real Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan. Sure glad no other games did this. Oh, son of a... Honestly, if I just say the game right now, you'll know exactly what moment I'm talking about. And a lot of people would have this as their number one, but it's so good I couldn't help but put it here. BioShock. You know exactly what moment I'm talking about. The whole game you search through Rapture with the aid of Atlas that tells you that you need to kill Andrew Ryan. Once you reach him, one of the biggest WTF moments in video games happens.
Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
Sit. Would you kindly? Stand. Would you kindly? Run! Stop! Turn. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
This whole time, you have been under Atlas's control from the very beginning, never knowing that the whole time you thought you had free will and explored on your own terms, thinking you were helping a lonely Irishman out, you were being manipulated by a man named Frank Fontaine. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. However, if you were good to all the little sisters you came across, he gets his just desserts after you beat him at the end of the game. Ah, so satisfying. And that's why Would You Kindly is the biggest WTF moment in video games. I'm Crow15, and oh hey, I got a package from Thomas. Wonder what's inside.
What the fuck?